The Persephone Foundation, Timeline Archives. Timeline number 011 Addendum. It turns out I was mistaken in the previous report concerning the number of snapshots of timeline number 011 we had. It turns out we have two more of two alternate branches of this timeline. One where the Pact won the Great Global War, and one where the Radicals won. We'll start with the Pact victory scenario. The year is 1965. The world is at last recovering from the horrors of the Great Global War, which lasted 7 horrid years until 1952. The war ended following the peace with Hesperia, which had had its capital nuked. Now, the Hesperian government is the last radical nation on Earth. It is weak, and now isolationist. Though it is not a member of the League of the World, many think it might soon become one. Sina and Kiev both collapsed during the war, and the new nations were immediately confronted with rebuilding their nations. Sina had had a massive radical rebellion in 1958, but it was harshly put down by international forces, and the Luong dynasty, now hated by pretty much everyone, was replaced with a republic. Similar radical rebellions in Southeast Asia are being put down with less success. Soon, many hope, the few remaining nations will join the League of the World, and humanity's bright future will be cemented. The only problem nation is Nihon, which, though it is part of the League, is bitter about being kept out of Sina. Nihon has been researching the atom, and soon it may be the second group to build a nuclear weapon. Only the League of the World has the collective capacity and know-how to build such a weapon. And now we will look at the Radical Victory Branch. The current year is 1984. This is the 20th anniversary of the end of the Great Global War, which ended in 1964 with the bombing of Addendum in Predynia. Of course, the war with Nihon went on longer, and certain aspects of the war across the globe are still ongoing. But this is when the last of the original 5 empires, Predyne, withdrew from the conflict. Rome, Greece, Tartessos, and Macedon all pulled out the year before when it was clear the end of the 19-year war was in sight. Greece left India behind, and it is a miracle that today it has not yet succumbed to a radical invasion. Perhaps the Persians and Sinans forgot about it. The war goes on in the Southeast Asian jungles, where the radicals attempt to fight equally oppressive kings, who were once backed by Sina and the Pact, but are now backed by neither. In the last 40 years, Sina's population was halved through wars and famine. Notia Libya, South Africa, goes on with its ethnic genocides against black people. Africa was hastily evacuated by the colonial powers, and much of it has yet to be modernized in any way. And in the nuclear wasteland that is Predynia, a radical government has grown. Hesperia, the strongest of the bunch, is suddenly becoming suspicious of its wartime allies. And in continental Europe, the last democracies reign. This has been a Persephone Foundation timeline reading. Thank you for listening.